Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to today's video and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm obviously doing a makeup and mystery. It is 8:12 at night. Kids are both asleep. I just wanted to get this done because I was a little late. I mean, I'm still recovering from my 2 looks 1 palette. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I have a lot of dryness right here. It's because I filmed so much on eyeshadow. But anyways, I just bought a video game that I'm looking forward to testing out because both kids are asleep, so I'm letting it download right now because I play video games when my kids are asleep until like 9 o'clock. Sometimes 10, sometimes 11, just depends. It is what it is. And then I also did my Ulta order. I didn't get that big of an Ulta order this month. I'm gonna try and like limit my spending for the rest of the year because I've bought so much makeup. Like I'm looking at what I plan to buy next month and I was like, I can cross this off, I can cross this off. I'm just okay with what I have right now and using what I have. But anyways, we are going to be talking about the case of Savanna Greywind. So this is a case that has honestly haunted me and disturbed me for so long. Kind of like I've done a lot of changes to my channel this past year and I've actually gotten more subscribers this past year than I have in a while, which is awesome. So if you haven't been following me for a very long time, then you might not know that I am the mom to 2 very beautiful boys, 2 gorgeous boys. And during my first pregnancy with my son Kai, I was actually pretty sick. So what do I mean by sick? So I had severe preeclampsia. But aside from that, like my blood pressure was literally like 100, 200s in that area. Like it was so high. And I had heartburn because Kai had hair. Jackson had hair too. But anyways, that's not what I'm talking about. What I want to talk about is when I was between 6 and 7 months pregnant, my parents, because we were living with my parents at the time, Brandon and I were together and we were living with my parents. So my parents noticed I wasn't eating the way a 6 or 7 month pregnant woman should eat. And it concerned them. And it got worse. I was throwing up everything and I literally was eating Tums just to combat the heartburn that Kai was giving me. It eventually got to the point to where at 7 months, I didn't eat for 3 days straight, which severely concerned my mother. And I had a checkup. And this was actually during COVID, so I had to go up by myself. See, usually like my mom would have liked to have gone up there with me to make sure I was asking like the right questions and letting the doctor know like right away that I wasn't able to eat. So towards the end of my checkup, my doctor asked me if I had any questions, as a doctor does. And I put my head down, and I remember saying to her, if I don't say anything to you, my mom is going to get upset. So I'm just going to tell you, I can't get hungry. And that was exactly, like, I didn't know how else to describe my problem. Like, I just couldn't get hungry. My problem wasn't keeping food down. It was just that I wasn't hungry. And I wasn't able to get hungry. I felt full all the time. Like I literally didn't feel hungry. So the doctor looks at my statistics and goes, yep, you're losing weight. So that's not good for a 7-month pregnant woman, because if you're losing weight, baby's losing weight. Let's put you on some medicine. So they put me on some medicine. Luckily it wasn't a like test and trial thing. Like they knew what they were doing and the medicine that they put me on worked. So I get on this medicine and it did help. I will give my doctor credit. She was really freaking smart. It did 100,000% help. And I was able to keep food down. But on top of that, I actually had to quit my job, which I had a job at the time. I was working in a veterinarian office, and I was also at Dollar General. But I had to quit my job because the doctor really didn't want me doing very much of anything. So I did, and being at home all the time really sucked. But aside from that, let's get on to because my mom literally took care of me. She was like, I will do anything and everything for you. And I eventually went through a craving where I was like, I want ice from Sonic. And we happened to live near Sonic, so like Brandon was literally taking me to Sonic like every other day to munch on ice. So, anyways, my parents took care of me, and so like Brandon, they made sure Brandon did too. So I'm on bed rest, and I really, this is when my true crime obsession really kind of took a turn. I was really into true crime, but then I became obsessed with it. And that's definitely where this series was born from, because I ended up finding a YouTuber by the name of Kendall Ray, and she was the first true crime YouTuber I ever watched. I didn't even know there were other true crime YouTubers until after I started watching her, because I just didn't watch true crime on YouTube. I would watch Forensic Files and stuff like that. That was the only true crime I knew. And one of the first cases I watched from Kendall Ray was the Savanna Greywind case, and I remember watching it and thinking, she's pregnant, I'm pregnant, oh my god. And that is when I really, really, really dove into a Pandora's box, I guess you could say, so to speak, and researched a lot of stuff about being pregnant, and probably things that you really shouldn't. I definitely psyched myself out. So there are only two cases that I watched when I was pregnant with Kai, that during my true crime love, that really stuck with me and still stick with me to this day. And I'm going to do a makeup and mystery on the other case as well, so stay tuned for that if you're curious. But this case also is a big bother because of the, like, so many different things. On top of the fact that Savanna was so gorgeous and she lost her life because she was pregnant. Like, this is something like women do every day. We get pregnant to have a family. And that's what Savanna was doing. And so on to the case. Savanna was like 8 months pregnant, which, if you've never been pregnant, being 8 months pregnant is the most miserable time of your life. I'm not gonna lie. You know, your body is really hyping itself up pretty much to go into labor. So I remember having Braxton Hicks contractions so many more times in the 8 months, at the 8 month mark, and the 7 and 8 month mark, than ever before, previously, like anything. And Braxton Hicks is just your body preparing you for the contractions. So Savannah was a indigenous woman. She was a member of the Spirit Lake tribe, I believe, and so was her boyfriend at the time and the father of her child, Ashton Matany. I hope I said that right, but I probably didn't. I'd have to ask my mom. My mom is Native American, and I definitely think that because of the fact that Savannah was Native American, like, there's obviously a stigma against, like, women, that indigenous women, which should not be there, but it is there because I think that suffered in this case, and you'll see why. So Savannah had a really good life. You know, she was a nurse, and they had just signed her and her boyfriend had just signed for their first apartment, and they were about to have their baby. And she was really close to her family, which is awesome. And, you know, like I said, they were about to have their first apartment. And Savannah just all around seemed super happy. And she was gonna make some extra money on this day. She was going upstairs because she actually, at this time, before they moved into their apartment, shared an apartment with her family. So Savannah was going upstairs because the lady upstairs had offered her like $20 or something like that to wear a dress and let her hem it. And Savannah agreed to it because, I mean, she's about to have a baby, so of course she wants the extra money. I mean, you can't blame the girl there. I mean, children are expensive. So a few hours had passed, and Savannah had actually promised to drive her brother to work. So when it was about time for them to leave, her brother goes up there to look for her because she hadn't came back yet. And he knocked on the door and heard nothing. Nobody came to the door, but he heard the sewing machine going off, so he figured that they were still busy. So when he comes back without Savanna, her parents are like, okay, what's going on? So then Savanna's father goes upstairs to the apartment, and he knocks, and the lady, their upstairs apartment neighbor, answers and says, oh, well, she's going to be a little bit longer. So they're like, okay, whatever. They didn't think anything of it. You know, they didn't have any reason to. So Savanna's mother decides that she's just going to go ahead and drive her son to work in Savanna's place. But the crazy thing is Savanna did not come home that night, and of course that worried them. So, they go looking for Savanna, obviously, upstairs, and she says that their neighbor said that Savanna left and decided to take a walk. And of course her mother is like, no, she wouldn't, no. Like, she's 8 months pregnant, her feet are swollen, like, your feet are swollen at 8 months pregnant, she wouldn't do that. So they call the cops, and the cops, I think that they thought that Savanna was kind of like a runaway, like maybe the father of her child wasn't her boyfriend, so she decided to run away with the real father. At least I feel like that's how they were looking at it, because they didn't really give it that much thought. They investigated the upstairs apartment, but obviously they didn't do it good enough, obviously. But they did, and it took a few days, but that is when they discovered Savanna's upstairs apartment neighbor, whose name is Brooke Cruz, with a newborn baby girl, which Savanna was pregnant with a baby girl, and they were kind of like, okay, so you're showing up with a baby girl, Savanna's missing, was pregnant with a baby girl, so that's suspicious. There's foundation in my hair. I need to wash my hair. So, they're like, that's suspicious. So they obviously arrest Brooke Cruz and her boyfriend William, and they take the baby in. And they are able to confirm that the baby is Savanna and Ashton's daughter. And the baby is safely returned to her rightful parents and her, grandparents, which is great. I need to find a brush. So they start to interrogate both Brooke and William, and Brooke says that she was teaching Savanna ways to pop her water, to break her water, which that shit don't work. And she said that she managed to do it. She broke Savanna's water, and Savanna went to the hospital to have a baby, and then showed back up on her doorstep a few days later with the baby girl and just gave it to her. Come on, really? No mother is going to give their child up like that. So that was Brooke's story. However, her boyfriend, remember, William, he's still there. He tells the real story, and the real story is very, very sinister to what Brooke is saying. And he says that he came home from work on this day to find Brooke cleaning up a bloody bathroom, and Brooke said to him and presented him with this baby and said to him, "This is our baby now. This is ours." Which I can't really figure out if Brooke was pretending to be pregnant or what, but apparently Brooke was a mother already, and she was like really horrible to her children. So this is kind of confusing a little bit. But they ended up pleading guilty, and like I said, I feel like police was very shoddy in this, because they did end up finding Savanna's body also, floating in the river. I feel like, again, police work was very shoddy in this case, which we always end up having something like this. I mean, obviously Savanna had just been killed, and they didn't interrogate Brooke, but they should have. I mean, Brooke was the last person to be seen with her and was obviously making up lies. I mean, like, come on. Only common sense would say that an 8-month pregnant woman not go for a walk. Like, come on, guys. I couldn't even go for a walk at 6 months pregnant. Are you serious right now? And anyways, doctors actually advertise that it's better to not exercise in your pregnancy if you aren't used to the exercise. So, I did not find anything about Savanna like doing marathons or anything like that before she was pregnant or during her pregnancy. But I don't know. Let me know if y'all know something about that, but I don't think that was the case. I just think that police should have looked at her a little bit more than what they had like originally, and obviously like Savanna would have been unfortunately gone either way. I think that Savanna was gone like around the time that she went to that apartment. I'm about to take this makeup off, so I'm not doing anything fancy with eyeliner or anything like that. So sorry guys, but if you are recreating this look, I recommend a black eyeliner in the waterline. I have on hand Urban Decay and Prince's So Dark, and a wing. Medium-sized wing, I would say. I have on hand my NYC liquid liner, so those are the two products I would use if you are like copying my look down to a T. Just in case, I figured I would give you guys that information. I don't feel like getting up, so I'm just going to use my eye brushes, or basically my highlighter brushes, to do the rest of my face, because I'm not getting up. I'm not waking Kai up. Oh, my game's almost done downloading, so I can test it out as soon as I'm done filming. Hell yes! So, the one good thing about, like, that we can say that's positive about this is, well, one, the baby was actually awarded custody to Savanna's boyfriend, the father, so, he is raising her, and, her name is Hazley, I believe, and, Savanna's family is involved, which is really, really good. I think that Savanna would have wanted that, so good to know that is how that ended up for them, even though I know they would have preferred to have Savanna here. I would have too, because she's actually very beautiful, and I think she would have been a good mom, like a really great mom. But this actually sparked this like change, and it's now widely known that the police kind of like don't really do anything for missing Indigenous women, and there is a like thing going around for the like to try to get the police to do more for missing Indigenous women and missing Indigenous women that are murdered, which I completely agree with, because if you don't remember, I talked about it a little bit. I didn't really touch on it too much, but Savanna and her boyfriend were both members of the Spirit Lake. I almost want to say Salt Lake. Researching an Elizabeth Smart case, I'm sorry, but it's Spirit Lake tribe, and I don't know a lot about it because my mom's not very keen into it, but my mom is also Native American, Cherokee Indian, so, I mean, I can only imagine how my mom would feel if I had gotten kidnapped and murdered for my baby when I was pregnant with Kai. I mean, like, seeing how close my parents are to my kids, I mean, like, Kai is literally everybody in this house's world. Like, he literally lights this world up, like, this house up. This is like a really matte foundation, and I did not like how it felt earlier today when I had it on. So I decided to put a lot of setting spray on to see how I felt with that. Because I'm not going to take this off like right away, but it's pretty soon. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about this makeup. Let me know what you guys think about this case. I mean, is there anything you guys would like to add? Of course, always feel free if you want to add something down below. Please, please, please be respectful. Please remember that this is a murdered person we are talking about. This girl is a victim. Her family is victims. So please be respectful. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye, guys.